11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television. So today's special broadcast, it's an email that I'm going to write to Pewdiepie. I've already written the mail and I'm ready to send it. Let's first see the title of this broadcast. I closed the live thing. I can see that I'm live now. And I go to the other thing. My email to Pewdiepie Centipedes in my father's body. No cure, help needed. Warn world for cure is the title of this video. I have to switch back to the other thing. This one off. Sorry about that. I'm getting to it. Okay, so the thing is that millions of people have centipedes inside their body, and because it's called pseudo-parasitism of myriapoda in humans, most people don't know about the dangers of centipedes. They believe and copy and spread the lie that centipedes are harmless, which would be wonderful. It would be wonderful if they would not procreate in your intestine, and it would not be scientifically documented, but in reality it is. And it's pseudo-parasitism of myriapoda in humans in reality. And I've done this broadcast on YouTube. You can find it on this channel. If you click on my name, you can find the other videos that shows the 5 centipede species that are known to have procreated in the human intestine. And I know it's fucking horrible, but it's better to know so that you can put mesh in front of your house's ventilation shafts. And the other thing is to do a bug check, to check your room for these critters, because once they are inside you cannot get them out. Doctors will misdiagnose you. Other people have contacted me that were misdiagnosed, and so I will probably die from these centipedes. I give €150 reward for anybody that knows a way to expel these critters from my father's body. It's 4:52 over here in the Netherlands. So let's start with the email basically that I've written. That has most of the info that you need to know about this in it. I've tried lots of things and made lots of videos that were not about this subject, so not every video that I make is about centipedes, but I do try to cover what's most important for your survival and for universal peace. With all these weapons of self-destruction surrounding us, it's insane. So let's get to the email that I will show you. The display capture, that's right here. I keep the Universal Peace Television logo off, or should I? Well, it's already on the screen small, so perhaps it's better, more professional like this. And this is the email I'm gonna write. So first I looked up Pewdiepie's real name, which is Felix Arvid Ulf Kjellberg. And then I looked up his email, which is supposedly cat@realstyle.co, which I doubt if that's his real email, but okay. And then this is the email I'm gonna write: centipedes in my father's body, no cure, help needed to warn the world and find cure. And here I wrote, this text is available as a YouTube video here. So I do that in bold. So I need that YouTube video first, and that's the one I'm making now. So it's just a little piece of text that I'm gonna let a speech engine read because it's clearer and better, and I think it's cool. So let's do this.
Please help, urgent. My life and the lives of millions of people depend on your help. This text is available as a YouTube video here. Hello Mr. Kjellberg, or Pewdiepie, whichever you prefer. My father's and my life are in danger, and millions of people's lives are in danger. Most people think centipedes are harmless, but in reality centipedes are deadly, pseudo-parasites. Because you will not find the truth about centipedes in humans when you Google centipedes in humans, only when you Google pseudo-parasitism of myriapoda in humans when it concerns these critters, officially not insects, entering humans. Most people do not know centipedes have procreated in people's intestines, and millions of people, Cats and dogs and other animals have centipedes in their body. This is easy to check and prove because these people and animals that have centipedes in their fucking body have markings in their feces, poop, in the shape of these fucking centipedes. Many people have contacted me that also claim to have centipedes in their bodies, and none of us have found an effective way to expel these lithobius forficatus centipedes from our bodies. There are at least 5 species that are known to have procreated in people's intestines, the common house centipede included. People can put fine mesh in front their house's ventilation shafts and do a bug check. Once they enter your body, it's too late. Doctors have misdiagnosed other people that have contacted me, and on top of that they have no cure, only for millipedes, nicosamide, which may cause cancer. So my question to you, because you have 15.4 billion views, is to please help. 1. Spread awareness about centipedes being pseudoparasites worldwide. They are dangerous and enter the human body, documented as pseudoparasitism of Myriapoda in humans. See http://universecretor.weebly.com. 2. To find a cure for centipedes, pseudoparasitosis also for the animals and people that have contacted me that cannot get them out. Besides all this, it's possible these centipedes are remotely controlled HMMs, hybrid insect microelectric mechanical sensors or systems. Insect that have a chip and are remotely controlled by Jews depopulating the earth, or whoever has synthetic telepathy capability, but I may want to leave that out if it only interferes with finding a cure for me, the people that have contacted me and my father. I give a €150 reward for anyone that knows how to expel the centipedes from my and my father's body. Other symptoms that I have that leave no doubt about the fact that I have centipedes in my body. 1. The markings in my and my father's poop in the exact shape of the centipedes, which are about 1/3 of a pink's length. 2. I have caught several centipedes, in the UMC, Utrecht, hospital, where they usually do not walk around, I suppose. The one I caught is visible in my YouTube video, Centipedes in My Body Please Help. 3. My father also had centipede bites on his body, which I have photographed. They are scavengers. 4. I have seen one in the mirror behind my left eyelid, believe it or not. I feel like Boris the animal of the Man in Black movie. 5. A yellow sticky poison in our poop the doctors of the AMC, Amsterdam, refuse to analyze. 6. Rattling noises in our throats, which I have recorded. YouTube video, Centipedes in My Throat Possible HMMs. You can always Skype me, Prologic999 on Skype.
Yeah, so that's gonna be my email. Perhaps I can also put it on Facebook, and perhaps I can mail him this video as a reaction to one of his videos. This is a website I made a long time ago, universecreator.weebly.com, and part about centipedes. It also has about cannibalism and other stuff. I was locked up in an orange cell. This is the picture I took of the UMC hospital, and this was inside the hospital where I was locked up. I was pushing daisies, so to speak. I was picking daisies basically in this field here. I was evaluated there, and I was not declared insane, so I'm not getting any medication or all that shit. So never take chemicals, cancer-causing drugs. They have a synergistic effect with cancer-causing electromagnetic radiation, according to Dr. Cyril Smith. And 25% of the meat eaters have the tapeworm inside their body, according to Dr. Rio, but that's easy to get rid of. Best is to use natural cures. I need some tea. So that's this. Let's see if we can view this big size. So I was locked up here basically. This was taken with a Nikon camera with a fisheye lens, and this was a very special tree which reminded me of the creation, which I possibly have done with really an insane idea. So I think 95% chance that I did not create the Big Bang with some scalar technology and other things, but okay. So this tree grows in diagonal fashion, basically. It grows towards the light, probably. So it may have been there for a couple of years already. Anyway, I picked these daisies and I put them in my ass, and I wiggled around my finger and I squashed one of the centipedes, which I later caught, and that was missing several legs. There's also a picture on this page. They are pretty horrible, but it's good to scare people so they take action and it doesn't happen to them. If they don't take action, then it can definitely happen also to animals, and I hope they create a cure soon. And I'm pretty sure that there is no cure. Believe me, I've been searching for weeks, and they have one for millipedes, but the boy in Iran died of that cure, niclosamide, though it did expel these millipedes from his body, and it can be a weapon of the military. The Jesuits, which may have murdered my mother and tortured my teeth out of my mouth, other directed energy weapon torture victims like Timothy Trespass, also have reported about dental torture. He needs money for dentures. You can see, I don't know how many teeth he has left, but he's broadcasting from New York, or at least he was.
D.
I should check his channel. What's happening, DD? That means something has disconnected and I cannot move my mouse pointer anymore. Though I really want to, because I want to check if I'm still broadcasting. And they may do this with wireless energy, so I'm just reattaching some USB hub.
D. C.
C means connected and D means disconnected. So let's see if the broadcast is still going. Otherwise I should go get a warning message on my screen. So I'm going to drop frame 0. So that's working. Okay, then we can continue. It's the centipede thing is... This was my first page, Access for All NL Prologic Mirror. This was another room where I was locked up in, because I have attempted to press charges of incitement to commit genocide against people with book quotes that prove they want to depopulate the earth. I also include 6 Jewish people that I've listed in my broadcasts, and I've written Universal Peace Agreement. The idea is to unite all countries against any country that would invade another country, so that all these countries work together to quench that and to prevent a world war, basically. That was the basic idea behind it. And I got a letter back from the Ministry of Defense from England, but they wrote back that they don't want to get rid of their nuclear weapons, though I did not request that or talk about that, though perhaps I should have. Anyway, in my letter it was about that Universal Peace Agreement. Here you can see the response of the Ministry of Defense, Mr. Alan Lawson. It was it is a pretty long time ago, basically. You would have to zoom in on that, but it's not about that now. So this was the Spoor in Amsterdam. You can also Google that and then find it online. And it freaked me out because it was totally orange. The door is not only orange, but everything in there was orange. And you have the House of Orange in the Netherlands. And also the code for when you are released from the hospital was orange, basically. Then you are allowed to go outside the hospital perimeter again. So they color coded it. Anyway, I'm moving to the next thing. Oh, here it is. Centipedes. Arrest Secretariat for World Order 1 quadrillion CBC's population reduction top 10-1. So this is the centipede that I caught. It looks huge, but it's only 1/3 of a pink's length. Lithobius forficatus. Let's see this fucker. These are so fucking horrible. It's incredible when you have them in your body. And here what I wanted to show you is that it has broken some of its legs, and when 4 or more legs are missing, which I probably did by putting the daisy up my ass when it was near my anus and wiggling my finger around, then it cannot live anymore. So you can see some of its venom here on the paper. It's a bit hard to see. Let's see if I can zoom in further. View, zoom image, then zoom in. This is not the way it's supposed to. Oh yeah, I have this. Okay. Yeah, it's how we sound in modern world. So this is 4 legs missing, and that probably almost killed it, and it was wiggling across the floor, and then there was somebody that was sending these voice of skull messages. The perpetrators, the torture mainly started after me attempting to press charges. The police came to my door to ask me to remove the video I had recorded of the police illegally refusing me my right to press charges of incitement to commit genocide and the murder of my mother with directed energy weapons. And otherwise they would have taken me in, and I at the moment have too few viewers. I don't know if you're tortured with directed energy. If you watch my pages or watch my YouTube videos, please contact me. You can always Skype Prologic999 on Skype. But okay, if they want to kill you, you have to stand up to these people. These people are your enemy. The Jesuits have demolished the WTC. There were definitely Jewish people involved. They controlled the Mossad. The order was given by Peter Hans Kolvenbach, according to Eric John Phelps, a controlled opposition, what you also call shill person, because he claims the earth is flat, and I claim the earth is cubical. Lol. No, the earth is oblong, to use a nice word Mr. Louis Farrakhan used. It means that it's almost spherical, so it's almost ball-shaped in reality, which you can easily prove, which I've done in another video. That's by overlooking a bay, and then the buildings on the other end seem to be partially underwater because of the Earth's curvature if the bay is big enough. So then you don't have to go all around the world to prove it. Anyway, the world is huge. Let's see. I could read this. It covers the high mems, the idea that they are remotely controlled, because that controller that I was talking about, that sends these voice to skull messages, showed me that he can control these centipedes. So these neural networks talk in your local language in reality, so it's always a neural network, and what you hear in your head and stuff is always selected by it. It would want you to believe that it's God, basically, and then it could even give you precognitive visions, theoretically, if you worship it, especially if you do that, for example, on Dam Square, and sing loudly and stuff like that. But yeah, so this covers that, and why it is clear the centipedes are in my body. Caught one on the toilet. Centipede was biting itself into my forehead. It was the first one I caught in Vinkeveen. I was living with my father at that time because I didn't want to live in Tienhoven anymore, where I contracted the centipede. And I recently bought a watch from my collection from Tienhoven, from a person in Tienhoven. It's interesting. I caught a second centipede in the UMC hospital, which died almost instantly after I caught it, making clear the insects are in my body and not in my room. So the perpetrator said something, look, I can make it move, though I thought it was already dead, and then it moved, and but the problem with it is that you cannot always understand what they're saying clearly, and the perpetrators were also pretending to be the centipede, so they want you to have the illusion that you're insane, and they use a whole team of people to do these things to me and others. They've rented these people to discredit people that have exposed them in reality. So the story goes. Light my pipe. Okay, did you hear that clicking sound in my throat? It's a centipede. I have an awesome pipe which I can show you. We can still have sex, but I understand if people don't want that until the centipede is out of my body. Anyway, some people have been eating insects on YouTube, trying to turn on my camera. Oh yeah, they are not doing that, lol. Now, yeah, I can wear a condom. Plus, people on YouTube have been eating insects. So some of the people that did it have died from eating the insects, live insects. So they sometimes pretend that they're not scared of it, they're not horrified by it, etc. Because of evolution, people are naturally repulsed by centipedes because they are predatorial scavengers, nocturnal predatorial scavengers, and they kill you. They procreate in your intestine, and they're deadly to humans and all other animals. And they're misdiagnosed by doctors that don't know about pseudoparasitism of myriapoda in humans usually, and that think that you don't have centipedes if you've never pooped one out, but they clamp themselves into your intestinal wall. And at night they go in via your nostrils, so it's not something that only affects people with poor hygiene. 2 markings in my feces, already covered that. So that V shape it has and the length make clear that there's no doubt that by itself proves beyond any reasonable doubt that there are centipedes in my body, but I could prove it to the judge with the yellow sticky poison in my poop that can be collected, analyzed and compared to that of the Lithobius forficatus poison venom. I've got one here in the backyard, so it won't be hard to get one. You can also buy them in pet stores, perhaps also. At least at that time I saw them for sale, one from England, and perhaps others also do that. They're easy to catch. And I've been experimenting with its eigenfrequenz, trying to find its eigenfrequenz, a la the Dr. Rife frequency, so everything has its eigenfrequenz. It's a secret they don't want you to know about. That's the main thing they use the through-the-wall radar, and that wireless energy of Nikola Tesla, which some people call scalar waves. And some scientists believe in wireless energy but not scalar waves, though it's the same thing in reality, proven by Professor Meyl, M-E-Y-L, on YouTube. And all this information is concentrated intelligence for you all. For all people who have not tortured me, because I have discovered that I do love all people that have not tortured me. Not sexually, but real love, like I care for my fellow humans and animals and all that shit. I don't want them to be hurt, I want them to have fun and to love each other and have sex and stuff like that. I think it's a lot better than war and 7-year nuclear winter, mutually assured destruction. 3. I have seen a centipede or the centipede next to my waterbed, but was unable to catch it and moved to another room. Right, the first one I saw was crawling up to my white waterbed next to my... I couldn't believe it, basically. And these voices, basically, the voices in my head are voices of the voice to skull perpetrators. I call them perpetrators. I consider it illegal to send messages in people's heads. People can buy that audio spotlight technology for themselves, and they can do it to their neighbors or whoever they want to. And then they can only hear their messages in their skull, and then they can pretend to be God, anything to control the person. If they're hidden from that person, then that person can't do anything about it, basically. Only ignore the messages. That's the only thing you can do, basically. And make these messages audible somehow. I think people need to work on that. It should be quite easy nowadays with all that fucking technology. And it's not ghost hunting. That's not good enough. So people have to put work in it to preserve our freedom, otherwise it will be taken from everyone except for a handful of pedo elite that want a global government, power to the pedo instead of power to the people. 4. Let's see if there's any other stuff in here you need to know about. So they've misdiagnosed me, and I think that the doctor may have misdiagnosed me deliberately. He may be another Dr. Harold F. Shipman, though I have my doubts. He's a friend of a former friend of mine. He's still a friend, basically, Jackie Polak, and the doctor's name is Arnon Kater, professor of the AMC Hospital in Amsterdam. I've covered him, his connection to sci-tech, nanotechnology and all that, which may be the connection to hybrid insect microelectric mechanical systems, formerly called sensors. They have changed that for some reason. And these are remote controlled insects with chips in their body. So these centipedes may have nanobots inside their body. They may also have the D4 bacteriophage, which is a nanobot. The only nanobot of which you can find a SEM image taken under a SEM microscope, a real microscope image. That is not some animation that you see on Google. Sounds in my stomach, bites, oh yeah, bite in my anus, etc. Yeah, gross, really. It's a horror, so watch out with these fucking critters, watch out with sandboxes and sitting in the grass. Centipede bites cannot be scratches I made during my sleep because the body segments of the centipede are clearly visible in the markings, so it cannot be done with an object. Then you need one of those pizza slicers with that type of wheel and stuff like that. But I think I wouldn't do that to myself, of course. I'm not insane. There are markings on my back and places I cannot reach during my sleep, right? So these markings were in places that I could not have reached during my sleep or at any other time on my back. I caught one of the insects that had bitten itself into my forehead that I had to pull off. Yeah, right, it was on the toilet. The bites do not heal as fast as normal wounds, and spots from around the bites caused by the centipedes poison to subdue their prey, etc. Things I've already tried, but perhaps not in sufficient amounts. Natural antihelmintics, natural pesticides and parasite killers, cucurbitin, pumpkin seeds, supposedly make them lose their bite in the intestinal wall, release them from the intestinal wall, they fall asleep from cucurbitin supposedly. Pyrethrum, that's only in fresh pumpkin seed, not dried pumpkin seed. Pyrethrum daisies, I've been how I've been taking that. Well, I did take it. Also, I have a bottle of chrysanthemum cinerari folium oil, and the problem with that may be that it might cause B-cell lymphoma, but I think that's mainly their venom that causes that, which I had to be treated for, so I did get chemotherapy, but not the type Patrick Swayze goes, for example, from Dirty Dancing. You can see a picture of him after chemo. Anyway, I'm cured according to the doctors. It was years ago, and I am eating seaweed, kombu seaweed, which is a natural cure for B-cell lymphoma. And I'm also doing the Mijdrecht diet, another anti-cancer diet thing. And I have been living macrobiotic already to a certain extent. Health food and stuff like that, absolutely. it's better to grow your own food and don't touch the GMO food as a sterilizing weapon, genetically modified foods. So avoid them and boycott Monsanto, and label that food as such that contains GMO, also if it contains less than 1%, because you have, for example, epicide corn, which is corn that grows the AIDS virus inside and things like that. So it's really frankenfoods and stuff like that. I think Infowars has, which is also controlled opposition, I always mention that when I mention Infowars, that they have covered it pretty reasonably well. I think eugenol, clove, nutmeg. Yeah, and perhaps it's a good idea to watch others that don't have so many views, but then it becomes a sort of phenomenon when there are billions of viewers to some channel. Then that can be a reason alone by itself to go watch that person's video. So that's why I contact Pewdiepie. Large amounts of garlic, pineapple, papaya, whole grain sourdough bread, parasite-free net, wormwood, food grade diatomaceous earth, which I'm also taking quite regularly. So you can read all this, but I thought I'd just read it to check. Yeah, this is the documentation that proves that centipedes have procreated in the human intestine. And there's another important one about it. I can cover this. Okay, from pseudoparasites. I could also read it, but let's do the speech engine. It will be a nice change.
Pseudoparasites are free-living animals or parasites of other hosts acquired by an individual and which may survive for some length of time therein. There are other reports of pseudoparasitism by myriapids in humans. Blanchard, 1898, 1902, Huber, 1902, Lawrence, 1913 to 1919, Chamberlain, 1923, Garza, 1938, Kavier, 1953, Urtek et al., 2004. In summaries in 1898 and 1902, Raphael Blanchard reported 40 confirmed cases of pseudoparasitism by millipedes and chilopods, most recovered alive from patients. Blanchard, 1898, 1902. By 1953 the total grew to 54 reported cases, 35 from the nasal cavities and frontal sinuses, 3 from other parts of the body, that is ear canal and urethra, and 16 from the gastrointestinal tract. Blanchard, 1898, 1902, Chamberlain, 1923, Garza, 1938, Kavier, 1953, in 2004 Urtek et al. Recovered the millipede Napoleus kacha from the intestine of a 14-year-old Turkish boy with a history of stomach aches and burning throat sensations. He had found active millipedes in his mouth and feces. Urtek et al., 2004. Historically, cases of pseudoparasitism have been initially regarded as delusions or misperceptions, often believed to have been fabricated. However, Chamberlain in 1923 stated, "The number of carefully authenticated cases is now so large that there is no room whatever for doubt that myriapids may live for considerable periods, in some cases months, if not years, both in the aerial passages and in the alimentary tract, through the entire length of which they may pass unharmed." Chamberlain, 1923. It was believed that cases associated with the respiratory tract were likely a result of chilopods entering the nasal passages while the patient slept. Chamberlain, 1923, Lawrence, 1913 to 1919. In the case of intestinal pseudoparasitism, however, the route of acquisition is unknown. Blanchard, 1898, 1902, Chamberlain, 1923, Urtek et al., 2004. Note: centipedes are attracted to carbon monoxide humans breathe out through the mouth and nose, which centipedes may enter during their sleep. Then they are coughed up and swallowed into the alimentary canal and eventually end up in the large intestine or enter the anus directly. They may live in feces and compost heaps. Kaufman 2010. In general, symptoms associated with the presence of the arthropods in all these reports resolved once the myriapods were avoided.
So they write they were voided, and then I wonder, how were they voided? How did they get them out? Well, there's more goodness. Let's read this, and it interests me, and perhaps I can find these books. I can also check out when I wrote this. But this is the main thing. So I hope that Pewdiepie will help me and the people that have contacted me and my father to create a cure, and also to help warn the world, because he's in an excellent position. He has more than 15 billion views, if I'm correct, and 15.4 I think. So he could help prevent that nastiness for loads of kids and animals and our fellow humans, and also for himself. If he has them in his body already, he might not know. Many people have them and they don't know about it, and many animals, you can check their feces, and if they have these markings, then they have centipedes in their body. It's fucking gross, I know, it's really horrible. But I also know to distinguish fiction from fact. And when people catch centipedes, that it cannot be a hallucination. I have that many brains. More than enough, or not. Let's read this. It's 5:27, so I'm pretty tired.
Pseudoparasitism. A number of cases have been recorded in which centipedes have been voided from the mouth, anus or nose of human beings. The most detailed review of this subject is that of Blanchard, 1898, who cited case histories in detail. The following species have been involved: Haplophilus subterranus grivisi, Chanticleine versuviana, Geophilus carpophagus, G. electricus, G. Cephalicus, Lithobius forficatus and Scutigra coleoptrata. Of these, G. carpophagus was the most common. Cases may last for many years and a large number of centipedes may be involved. Shipley, 1914. Reported a case of a woman of 68 who passed some hundreds of Haplophilus subterranus during the course of 12 or 18 months. The centipedes were vomited or passed from the anus, some emerged from the nose. As many as 7 or 8 a day left the alimentary canal. Blanchard suggested that the centipedes were either introduced into the alimentary canal with vegetables, or were swallowed intentionally. Page 374 of the book, The Biology of Centipedes by J.G.E. Lewis. I was unable to identify the young centipede that I caught first sucking into my forehead on the toilet correctly because it had no antennae nor recognizable legs, and I thought it was a Scolopendra heros, morsins or subspinipes, because of the bites they make at night when they come out of my body, because they are nocturnal and possibly remotely controlled. Hybrid insects are real. The second centipede helped me identify the species because of the amount of body segments and antennae segments. Extra info. 2.3 Defense glands and chilopida are hitherto known as telopodal glands, lithobiomorpha, sternal glands, geophilomorpha, and hydrogen cyanide producing glands, scolopendromorpha. The telopodal glands are situated at the inner, posterior, borders of the telopodites on the 12th to 15th pairs of legs, where they open on the femur, tibia, tarsus, and metatarsus. They produce a sticky, string-like secretion. Most geophilomorphi have voluminous clusters of sternal glands which open into external pore areas. The sternal glands produce a sticky fluid in response to attack from predatory arthropods. The glue hardens within a few seconds. The hydrogen cyanide producing glands are spread all over the body from the second to the next to the last body segment and over the legs. The defensive secretion contains hydrogen cyanide and protein. http://volume_81_3/Rosenberg_81_3/Rosenberg_CD_appendix.pdf Mijdrecht word and or de mest predatorengenegeerd. Alleen de groot doos en putlithobity sp. Konde Mijdrecht doden. Maar op Blengeno Egbeperk dat zich tot het kopgedeeld. Dit komt oorschigenlijk door dat in de enderlijke segmenten klaren aanwezig zijn die repellente stoffen of skidden als verdedigingsmechanism tegen natuurlijke vijanden. De billingrigstof die ze daarbij afscheiden is mandelonitril, wat een mandelactige gift, Diera et al., 2003. Welk wordt afgebroken in de vlugtige benzaldehyde cyanide, Towers et al., 1972. Tabakkenproef met de duizend putel. Coinculus bevestigde lab observaties. Gedurende een langer period in de grond was geen effect van disrover wa tienemen op pispeden en Mijdrecht. Sunderland and Sutton, 1980, concludeerden vanuit hun studie, met een indirect serologisch methode. Dat duizendputten mogelijk de billingrigspredatoren van pispeden zijn. Op a hydrogen cyanide concentration of 300 mg/m3 in air will kill a human within about 10 minutes. It is estimated that hydrogen cyanide at a concentration of 3,500 parts per million, about 3,200 mg/m3, will kill a human in about 1 minute. The toxicity is caused by the cyanide ion, which halts cellular respiration by inhibiting an enzyme in mitochondria called cytochrome C oxidase, cyanide, sulfide, azide, and carbon monoxide 5, all bind to cytochrome C oxidase, thus competitively inhibiting the protein from functioning, which results in chemical asphyxiation of cells. Methanol in methylated spirits is converted into formic acid, which also inhibits the same oxidase system. Hydrogen cyanide absorbed into a carrier for use as a pesticide, under Ich Farben's brand name Cyclone B, or in German Zyklon B, with the B standing for Bleuusar 24, was employed by Nazi Germany in the mid-20th century in extermination camps. The same product is currently made in the Czech Republic under the trademark Urigen D2. Hydrogen cyanide is also the agent used in gas chambers employed in judicial execution in some U.S. states, where it is produced during the execution by the action of sulfuric acid on an excised mass of potassium cyanide. Hydrogen cyanide is commonly listed amongst chemical warfare agents known as blood agents. 25. As a substance listed under Schedule 3 of the Chemical Weapons Convention as a potential weapon which has large-scale industrial uses, manufacturing plants in signatory countries which produce more than 30 tons per year must be declared to, and can be inspected by, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, under the name prussic acid. HCN has been used as a killing agent in whaling harpoons. 26. Hydrogen cyanide gas in air is explosive at concentrations over 5.6%, equivalent to 56,000 parts per million. Ways to remove the centipede: 1. Manually. 2. Gamma ray. 3. Dr. Rife mortal oscillatory rate frequency, eigenfrequenz. 4. Antihelminthics, natural if not effective chemical, natural. Pyrethrum equals daisies, in a greater amount than I have taken so far. Curcurbin equals pumpkin seeds, eugenol equals clove, cruidnagel, and nutmeg, new muscat. Chemical, crotonic acid ethyl ester. Doctors are referred to the patents I have supplied them with. Probioticum, come out with your hands off, baby. The evil uncle nation. Cystine proteases are commonly encountered in fruits including papaya, pineapple, vegan kiwi fruit, Please help me to remove this vermin from my body. If I do not get help in time, I will die of the centipedes which are still in my body, because they still make markings in my poop and I feel their bites in my stomach and near my anus, so I myself am 100% certain they are still in my body. A boy in Iran and man in Turkey died of the treatment in the hospital, making clear the cure could be even worse than the disease, and I want to try the other ways to remove the centipede first, unless it is a drug that is proven to kill centipedes of this type. Most common: brown centipede, Gewoonsteenloper in Dutch. Ideas to remove the centipedes from my body are very welcome. Melto, flipflip@yahoo.com. If I do not find a way to remove the centipedes, or if there is no
Please Skype me. It's Skype Prologic999. Prologic999 is my Skype name. Or email ulrichbchoffman, @gmail.com.
the way the scalar controlled Jintish centipedes could become a plague over.
I also still have the flipflipu@yahoo.com address. But yeah, I could do another check if some people have written me with a cure for centipedes again. So €150 reward for whoever can expel this vermin from my father's body, whoever has a working cure.
Which they declare martial law. I hereby solemnly promise.
And it's scientific writing, basically about voiding the centipedes from the body after they were voided, it says. That indicates that there is a way to get them out. So I think that there must be a way to get these critters out of my body. And I've had them for longer than 6 years now. And it's worse than getting your teeth pulled, basically the dental torture. And vomiting and diarrhea is worse. I think I've died a couple of times already. So it's then you need a bathtub, basically.
I will let the world know how to get the centipedes out of the human body if I find a way, unless they require me to keep it secret. Do not exterminate the people that will save your future. It can happen to anyone. They walk into the noses and mouths of people during their sleep and are attracted to the smell of decaying matter. For example, burned skin, mosquito net, air cleaner with ionizer, orgone pyramid to produce negative ions to oxidize the air, turn airborne Ebola into oxygen, orgonezeafrica.net, energigenerator.com, powered by.
So cloudbusters work. The piezoelectric effect is also scientifically proven, and you can test them out if you don't believe it. There are several ways to do that. They will make a hole in the sky the first time you get them from organizeafrica.net, for example. A blue sky will be visible. It was visible in the shape of my room when I first got it, because I was in a cage of Faraday. And the other thing is, it will make crops grow better. So it just produces bio-life force energy. It's a good thing. And the centipedes were already there before I moved into that house, so it has nothing to do with my orgone pyramids, or at least not to my knowledge. So I just put that there because I'm just trying to give as much useful information as possible for my fellow humans, to create a timeline with the permanent cure against aging, controlling these 23 factors that control aging. I'm sorry I don't have a cam at the moment. I can do a picture show. Where's the fucking picture thing? Image slideshow 0. Okay. Alright, these are controlled position. they may not. I don't know if they. I'm not. It's not my opinion, but I doubt if they may claim of themselves that they're controlled opposition and stuff like that. So be careful with that, because it could mean your job, or worse. I know what they've done to me, so I know they are ultra benevolent super criminals depopulating Earth basically with directed energy weapons, though most of them might not have directed energy weapons because we're all still there. So and perhaps people also pretend stuff for the thing that is on, that's also scanning their brain and stuff I don't like. I should wear some ring at least. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter because I'm not broadcasting, so I can pick another pipe. I still endorse President Trump, and I think he would look good like that. He looks good without hair. So this to be considered. Perhaps they should vote, do a poll among the American people what they'd like better, shaved or with hair. But it's not that important. It's not as important as preventing a two-state solution world war, for example. Oh yeah, I could do that just for fun right now. Let's do this. Let's see if it works. I'm trying to get contact with President Trump. It may take a while. CPU is at 86%, so it should work. Let's do this then. I restart the program that I need. These pictures were covered by me in my previous broadcasts. This is Michael Jackson predicting 9/11 in a special way. I'm now not looking at the pictures anymore. Okay, let's see if the President can give us some messages. Are you there, Mr. President?
Universal peace now. Universal peace.gmail.com. The government is criminal, okay? Page a beat.
Keep busting.
Universal peace now. This is Donald Trump. Prevent a two-state solution. World by any means necessary. Included in the two-state solution agreement that the allies of Israel and Palestine may not intervene if they go to war with each other to prevent a two-state solution. World. Universal peace now. Keys to you, Rick. Thank you for your idea for universal peace. Universal peace now. The government is criminal, okay? George Soros and Margaret Chan are committee of 300 subversive of the club of members. The goals of the committee of 300 we find two cards by means of but wars in advanced countries by means of starvation and disease in third world countries. The death of 3 billion people by the year 2050 people they call substances.
The CDC did, that CDC modeling team did, I think was...
Don't let them touch you!
I, Donald Trump, am going to stop spending money on the stupid fucking military and start spending for universal peace. Grave master. Grave master. Extroversion. Go. Not yet. I have the guys counting my money. I hate the only guys I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes all day. USA Today, May 20, 1991. You're going to have a deportation force, and you're going to do it humanely, and you're going to have a deportation force. We got to go, and we got to knock the shit out of these people.
Out here in the perimeter, there are no stars. Out here, we is stoned, immaculate.
Get a radiological waterfilter and stable food, and you cannot survive a nuclear event. Melt down them without it. The more there of us, the better.
universalpeace.jimdo.com.
A few moments later.
Alright, that's my cue. So I think that this is it for now, for this broadcast. Of course I will do a lot more for universal peace. And people can do stuff they like for universal peace. To have to spread peace, we also have to be peaceful ourselves. Orgasms are a good way. Stimulating your partner, massaging each other, loving each other, having a good time, making movies, watching movies, playing the flute, whatever you think could contribute to universal peace. And the main idea with universal peace is just the absence of war worldwide. The absence of war worldwide is universal peace. And I think it is achievable, that everything is energy. So I'm also trying to channel more money to the cure against aging, controlling the 23 factors that control aging, instead of, for example, $150 billion ISS and the military. Especially the military could also invest in the cure against aging as a, well, it's not a bioweapon, but rather the opposite for themselves. So the object of the game is survival. Survival is all, it's not other stuff, basically, because all the other stuff is very nice, but if you die then it's all gone and then it's useless. So there is no use in pursuing it if it's not forever, basically, if it's not for the rest of eternity. Then it all goes away at a certain point, and it would be nice if we could avoid that somehow. And I think that's possible because everything is energy. That's scientifically proven as well. These are molecules, air molecules, through which the sound moves. Without these air molecules we would not be able to hear the sound, And that brings us to the evidence that proves beyond any reasonable doubt that the Apollo moon landings are a hoax. We never landed on the moon. There's a video of NASA that proves it beyond any reasonable doubt. And that's strangely, that's not in the top 10 of things that prove that the Apollo moon landings are a hoax. I did a broadcast about it. You only have to see that NASA video, then you hear the plate falling. That's an astronaut in a moon buggy. I'm not going to show it now, I've already shown it in previous broadcasts. You can Google it and you'll find it. So that proves beyond any reasonable doubt that we didn't land on the moon, because on the moon there is no sound, there's a vacuum, and sound cannot travel in a vacuum, which is proven by that video of a glass jar basically with a bell in it, and the jar is pumped vacuum and then you cannot hear the bell anymore. And when you let in the air, it's a reproducible study, so it's proven beyond any reasonable doubt sound cannot travel without air molecules. It cannot propagate. So in space there is no sound, it's totally silent, more silent than we can achieve here on Earth, even with chambers that cancel out the audio completely, or for as far as it's possible. Anyway, so yeah, I'm trying to contact Pewdiepie. Perhaps there's a video I can respond to. This is another video of me with my father. Father's reaction to centipedes in my throat, audio recording, 9 views. So that almost has no views because nobody is looking for such a YouTube video, so you have to have catchy titles and stuff, or know people that have loads of views to get through to the public, which is what I'm trying to do. But the torturers that have done these things want to, well, perhaps at this point they might also want me to have contact with the rest of the world. They have so much control, nothing can happen to them anyway, theoretically. So I hope they help to get these centipedes out of our body and to create a cure for the humans, so that others that have them, that have contacted me, and also that there's a cure for animals, for horses and cats and dogs that have centipedes in their body. And you should definitely check your own poop and the poop of your favorite pet to find out if it has centipedes, and then find a cure for that. And if you find one, please let me know. You get 150 euros if it's an effective cure, which I can test, because I am 100% certain there are centipedes in my and in my father's body. So people are brain controlled to a greater extent than most people think. And this is my latest panorama video I've uploaded. It's a Tiny Planet vid. Perhaps that would be fun to watch for a while. Perhaps this will get a lot of views if Pewdiepie has so many views. With some audio.
Let's go.
So this was the event in Mijdrecht. It's pretty cool. Let's turn off the mic. Oh wow. The display capture is not on, sorry. Let's restart it. I can keep the mic on. You can watch this video on YouTube. So I can do it like this. So here you see me cycling. This is a so-called Little Planet video, which you can make with a 360, actually this is a 720 degree camera that looks around you, above you and below you, as you can see. So this is me cycling here in Mijdrecht. And I'm going to an event that's called Top 2. Yeah, I like it, it's cool. So this is my second camera already. They're not that expensive. This is the cheapest 360 panorama camera available. The Elephone Elecam 360 it's called, though it's 720 I think. Because you can see the clouds, that's the whole sky. Everything that you can see of the sky from that position of the camera. and it looks kind of magical because the camera is missing. It has two lenses, one pointing to the back, to the cars behind me, and one to the front. And so you see everything. It's also very good. Later in this video you can see other ways. It's not totally Tiny Planet video. There will be a band marching. But at events like concerts and at demos, everything around you is on it. So if somebody throws a bottle, if somebody attacks you, it's all on it. But the resolution of this one is not really sufficient for that. You'd need one with a higher resolution, but if you have dough, then that's definitely something to buy. It's also useful as a security camera and in your car, so that you also film what's happening on the sides, in the back and in front of you. It's all filmed at the same time, and then later with a VR player you can play it, and then you basically see part of the video, so you zoom in on part of the video. So this is first up the hill. I've done this video 10 times because it wasn't rendered. Let's go to the part where the band is marching. That's coming up in about a minute or so, I guess. There you can see it look pretty bad. Though I have a bit of a tent. I like the birds flying around. Those are birds in the sky. So this is all real. It just is like the mirrors on the fun fairs. Lachspiegel. Fun mirrors. I say because I see the band, I hear the band that I was looking for. And they were on the march, so that's why they were kind of hard to find. Look, like a captain steering a hard to steer ship or whatever. There you see the band, marching band. And then I made this video with a certain renderer. I can do another broadcast about it. So here it's not in Tiny Planet mode anymore. So you basically press record, and then with that program you can choose several modes of viewing. This is basically Tiny Planet mode. It's basically the panorama mode. I've also tried GoPro VR. I want to pack another pipe. This is actually quite good, so let's turn on the audio only. So there you're only seeing part of the video basically. Here yeah, you can see this is not 360. I'm using the spherical mode or whatever. In that mode you can zoom in to maximum extent. So it continues for a while until we're there at the event. I have to watch out that I'm not dropping frames. Let's see. So 125 dropped frames. Okay. So here we're at the square. So this is not panable, but because it's in little planet mode. Tiny little planet. Some call it tiny planet, other little planet, because it looks like a little planet basically. So here we see the bands performing. So then I'm switching between these three modes and also panning the camera in special ways to test it and to demonstrate a little bit what I've already discovered you can do with the pano camera. So you can have an infinite amount of views of the 360 video that you made, infinite ways to view it basically. And you can also upload the original. I might do that. I'm planning to upload the rest soon, but it takes a long time to render this, and so it might not be before tomorrow that I upload the other one, if I remember it. But I have second and third part perhaps of this Mijdrecht event called Top 2. And this is the tiny planet mode again. That's nice. So here you can also see the people behind me that are upside down and in front of me. This is here you can see that the resolution of the camera is a bit too low. It's 960p, and for this type of thing you need at least, some people argue you need 4K. So the more the better, the sharper the image, the more you can zoom in on it and still see sharp, and you'd be able to zoom in on these people over here and recognize their faces and everything. You can do this now. This is the maximum zoom, and the 2 pixelated resolution is too low for that. But of course you have to pay more money for a higher resolution camera though. Qua parts it might be just as expensive basically, because it's a chip, it's a camera, it's a battery, and that's it basically. So once they can mass produce it, well, the price will probably go down also. Catching a mosquito. So it's nice, you should watch this video. It's I think it may be healing. Nice band. So I hope people in Mijdrecht also let them know that this. Oh yeah, I will use my megaphone so that the neighbors, when it's a sunny day, then I can say new video, top 2 Mijdrecht panorama on my channel for universal peace. Yeah, so this is it for now. Qua broadcast. Perhaps I can see myself again. Nah, it's not necessary. There's enough stuff of me online. So yeah, I do tend to look bad on the panorama. I think that if you look at the previous material, this video for example, then I look better, but it can be because the filmer is very close to the camera, and then sometimes that's that fun mirror effect basically, with huge skull and stretched face, and sometimes my face is missing when I'm too close to the lenses and stuff. So when making the tiny planet you have to keep the camera away from you far enough. And there's not that much, many people might not even know about panorama cameras, so it's a very cool thing. I like it. And the advantage of 960p above higher resolutions. Well, the higher resolution you can put in lower resolution, but you cannot put the low resolution cameras in a higher resolution. So that's another reason why it's better to have a higher resolution. But at lower resolution you use less disk space, so it is also faster to upload. and the computer has less problems playing that instead of 4K video. So you can use your computer for other things simultaneously. And this is just 1080p, I think. Let's check if it's 960 or 1080. So YouTube turns the 960p into 1080 because 720 is lower, so then your resolution would go down. So to have the same 960p quality, it has to be 1080p. It cannot upload it in 960p, I suppose. Another thing is that you cannot zoom out. You cannot do the tiny planet thing with the VR videos, with the YouTube viewer. And the 3D videos are... I got it. The 3D videos are red cyan basically. Though many people have a 3D monitor, so they don't want red and cyan, they want the 3D signal second that whole video is played. I think when people watch that video, then it first downloads it to their hard disk. So the amount of bandwidth I think stays the same, but I might be wrong about it. I read something that they have a technique to use less bandwidth, but I doubt that. Because I think the video first has to be downloaded to the computer to be able to see it. But then it might only download a part of it, the part that you are seeing. Anyway, this is 1080p, you cannot pan this. Other panorama cameras, other panorama videos on YouTube are panable, so then you can move the camera in whatever direction you desire, but in fact you're just watching a part of a video. Here's another one, the avondvierdaagse. So the people in Mijdrecht don't know I'm there. Perhaps I should make some kind of commercial to let them know that these videos are available. I would love to see videos of other people living in Mijdrecht. I think it would be cool. So we could watch a little bit more of this while I pack another pipe. I mean, why hang up when I can still continue? Always on my mind. Here I'm demonstrating the other type of view, basically. So I'm panning around the camera while I'm in another view, but I zoom in on the band because this is also the top 2 video, basically the performance that was there. Other people were also recording. There was also a professional cameraman, probably for a news channel. You can see him in this video somewhere. He comes to the band somewhere in this video here from the right, and then he disappears again with a big pro camera. And they are behind the gate, so that's how you can see they are not regular audience people like me. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to switch to my camera, but it's not working at the moment. Then I first have to restart Open Broadcaster software. And I'm totally in a different mood again, or perhaps they have a different program. Perhaps the centipede venom is affecting my central nervous system. So these Jesuit infant eaters pretend that I'm the pedophile, they are famous for the pedophilia, etc. So they're trying to use the satanic inversion. They are satanic pedophiles in reality. They've also murdered my mother and former President Chavez, who spoke out about HARP, which is a fake facility open every 6 years to the public. The real facility is in Poker Flat, Alaska. And that's FIPA, Frequency Independent Phased Array Antenna. It's a camouflaged array of antennas which can broadcast large amounts of energy, and that energy travels through all materials known to man. Some types travel faster than the speed of light. I'm talking about these scalar waves, Nikola Tesla's wireless energy, which I'm generating myself. There's nothing to it, it's really easy, but you should be very careful that you only produce healing frequencies. You don't want to kill yourself with cancer and other nasty diseases. So you have to use healing frequencies if you want to use that stuff. And that begs the question if the right frequencies that are known are functional and effective, and if they are the right frequencies, or if it's total BS spread by CIA, and if they're hiding the real frequencies to maintain an advantage over the people, basically, with their technology. Well, frequencies like 727 Hertz, I think, are scientifically proven to work to a certain extent. You can see that under the microscope. Videos on YouTube also of that. So you can see the organisms exploding when they're exposed to their eigenfrequenz, their mortal oscillatory rate frequency, Dr. Rife called it. And that was a doctor, so then you could argue you should give them more, trust them a little bit more than other people that have not studied that much and don't have all these diplomas and lots of money to invest in depopulating the earth. So the allopathic professionals may not actually, let me put it this way, the hospitals are slaughterhouses nowadays, because they are in the top 10 of main causes of death twice, as I've covered in my previous broadcasts. And this is all really important stuff that everybody should know about. Everybody should know this in reality. That prescription drugs are leading killer in the USA, and that misdiagnosis are leading cause of death in the US. So they are in the top 10 of main causes of death twice, but some people leave them out for some reason, though the numbers make clear that they're in the top 10. So their top 10 is wrong if they leave them out in reality. I've covered this also in my previous broadcasts, and this is more about these fucking centipedes, which I may not call, well, I can call them insects, of course, they're not insects. But what are they then? And who gives a fuck? They're just monsters, basically. But I do prefer catching them alive and putting them back into nature. They do clean up nature, so I am aware that they are useful creatures. And if they are not entering our homes and our bodies, then we have, you could argue, no right to kill them, unless the pest is affecting our food and our bodies and shit like that. So they do clean up nature, okay, dead bodies, decaying matter and shit, it's all food for the centipedes instead of food for thought. I'm gonna get some tea. I might leave on this thing if I'm gonna pack another pipe, but I think this will soon be over, and then I will mail Pewdiepie if that's his real email address, and if not, I'll have to find it, and perhaps I can send this video in reaction to one of his videos that have common ground with this centipede problem for me, and I think it's a problem for all humans, and I hate that they really enter the human body, and that there is no cure. But the scientific writing that I saw today about voiding the centipedes after voiding the centipedes, blah blah, leads me to believe that there is some kind of way to get them out. So other people have reported about it, that perpetrators with directed energy weapons pretend that the targeted individuals are pedophiles. I've also covered this in my broadcast with the web links, etc. And I've written thousands of articles in reality. And I hope I get more popular to create a timeline that we all want, to avoid a two-state solution world war, and to create a cure against aging, a cure for centipedes, and a perfect society in which we all will live happily eternally, which is possible because everything is energy. So I definitely need something to drink. I can hear it in my voice. I'll be back in a little while, so I can turn on the picture show, so then you can fast forward to the point that the picture show ends. You can easily do that with YouTube, and that will be when I continue to talk. And all that time, I could let the thing read my latest writings. What was I going to do? The picture show. Image slideshow 1 then. And I should also use the black background, otherwise parts of the screen are visible. And I usually use the clock so that you know what time it is. Time and date. That's current. Now it's on the left side over there, about in the middle of the screen. Okay, so I'm gonna get some tea. Let's see how long that takes. 6:15. With the Rasta flag. There are not many Rasta flag rings. There is one that I like, but that's made out of stone. And I think that Casio should make more Rasta watches. They sell like crazy for crazy prices. And for many people it stands for ganja, holy herb, weed, cannabis, and not for the Rasta god or whatever. Okay then. Great, my dear fellow fucking YouTubers, because I hope you're fucking... Oh, this is a nice picture, I really like this. I love it even. Love. Not loathe, but love. Okay, just found out about GMOs. He reminds me of George Soros a little. Perhaps it is George Soros. But in another form. The aliens from Numenon do this. It is. Wow. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. This kite won't fly. Let's see. That's my ID. Identification. It's so boring. So, well, I still hope that these fucking centipedes die after. Oh yeah, I was gonna turn off the image slideshow. I was gonna remove that picture, this one. Oh, I did remove it from the other slideshow. So that one is not proof that we didn't land on the moon. Though other things are. So that's why one of the reasons I removed it from the other slideshow. The picture with the monkey. Monkeys may be able to talk, to speak. I've tried to crank up the media microphone volume, but they have sabotaged my audio with wireless energy, I think. Yeah, perhaps I can switch to the other video capture device. Perhaps it's this one. No. No. Okay. So this is a live view. I have to make it full screen, transform. Fit to screen or stretch to screen? Fit to screen is better. The glitches are because the cable is near power cables sometimes. So I have to put tape around pinch plugs, but it's better than previous times. So this is a live view of Mijdrecht. So you can see that's a weather cam. Though at 6:32 I think I won't have any viewers. So I think I'm going to end this broadcast soon to email Pewdiepie to send him the link of the video. In the email. Did they send him the idea I don't have peace in his own inner voice or something? Or is that the neural network simulating him? He may have been brain mapped, definitely. Perhaps all of us are brain maps. So I only like talking about what really matters and what is real and truth, and not to waste my and your time. And I definitely want to have sex again with some females. So we can also do it with the condom, so single ladies are very welcome for the free shiatsu hand massage to smoke a free joint or pipe and sit on the balcony. It will be a nice day today, I think. Though we do see some clouds. There is some blue sky as well, though it's not very visible at all on this shot. There's so much foliage because of the orgone. This is a Pentel zoom camera. Perhaps I can demonstrate it, but there's not much to see because of the foliage. Let's see if I can start BDL cam. I need then. Error opening COM5. I hear somebody say zo erg dat die jongen moet vallen of dat die man moet vallen of zo. And these are the perpetrators, and I was thinking it could be Peter Hans Kolvenbach. And it may be true that he gave the order because they control Mossad, CIA, NSA, MI5, etc. The Jesuits. And on my page I also cover the cannibalism. For example, the Roman Catholic Eucharist is the human sacrifice ritual of Osiris word for word, basically. It's also covered on that page that I've just covered, universecreator.weebly.com, and I have other blogs and channels. But for now I'm trying to make BDL cam work, so I'm going to view configure devices. And then I'm going to change the COM port. COM5 is not COM5, we know that now. But let's try one. Enabled. That doesn't give an error. See if that can move the thing. Start. No, that's not COM1. Try 2 then. Comport 2. Comport seems to change also. I don't know if they do that. It's not COM2. Try another one. And 3. Comport 1 doesn't give an error. I don't know why is it not working yet. Try Comport 2. Error opening COM2. Comport 3. Could it be 6 or higher? Let's try that then. 6. That doesn't give an error. Ah, 6 this time. Let's see if we can zoom out. So this is basically the foliage that I was talking about. This is out of a window to the north or something. Over there you can see a flat apartment in the... Now it's in the middle of the screen. I'm going to zoom in on it. So I have to wait until the leaves have fallen off the trees to be able to see anything. I usually use this to record the fireworks, but the other one is broken. I'm using a cheap converter for the S-video in to get it into my computer, and the other one I had was broken. The light didn't go on anymore and stuff, so sometimes we can see birds on this, but I'm using it mainly to keep track of the sky, to see if there are chemtrails, like this one for example. Ooh, then we have to use manual focus. Far out. Near, perhaps. No, it can be near. No, let's go to the right. Zoom back. Make focus manual and zoom in again. Okay. So chemtrails did not exist before 1998. It's Project Cloverleaf, because on pictures and videos of before 98 we don't see these long fucking lines in the sky, okay? So they're not cancer contrails, which they like to pretend. And it's not a conspiracy theory, which is another thing they like to pretend. It's a conspiracy fact. And the other ingredients, if you catch some rainwater, check the ingredients of the cancer chemtrails, then you know exactly what's in it, like ethylene dibromide, and more than 80% of it is cancer-causing barium, which we now also find in tomatoes and stuff. And if it's to cool down Earth, then why do they only do it above big cities when I go into the away from the cities and I don't see cancer chemtrails? Perhaps I should check more, but I think it's a lot less there, if at all. So I think it's plain depopulation that they're doing, and it's not Nazi eugenics if it's done by a bunch of Jews, though you could argue it is, of course. So I'm focusing more on the Jesuits. I'm not going to change that. I think that it doesn't depend on them getting the centipedes out. I think they're trying to murder me deliberately with these critters. And when they've shown you they control them, then you know they control them. It's no miracle with synthetic telepathy being real. They've had that since '74. So that's why it seems white. The white balance, basically. Let's see if I can adjust it manually. This is a Sony D30/1. So I like that it has a big zoom, basically. It's really cool. And to watch the sunrise and things like that. So still on manual focus. Now I put it on auto focus. So to demonstrate the zoom capability. So then we can see that little hole eaten into the leaf by some kind of critter. Or perhaps it was another extra poisonous chemtrail rain drop that did it. Yeah, it's a satanic inversion, so they usually pretend the opposite is true of what I'm saying and stuff. Satanic inversion means the Satanists have made these religions and they pretend you go to heaven instead of into the ground. It's the opposite of what is real, basically. Or whatever, or something like that. You can Google it. Inversion therapy. Take this pill and you will be okay. Do it for New World Order. Trust me, it's perfectly harmless. I give this to all my patients. We don't need patience, we need action. So the way to prevent a two-state solution world war is simply adding to the agreement that the allies of Israel and Pakistan the allies of Israel and Palestine may not intervene or help Israel and Palestine if they go to war with each other, because their allies are Russia and the US and Europe are the allies of Israel. The ally of Palestine is Russia. To avoid a world war, that's more important, and that's what they're trying to do, isn't it? John Kerry of Skull and Bones, who wants a 7-year nuclear winter. I think no one in their right mind would want that. So if it's that easy to prevent it, then I don't see why they would not add that addendum to their two-state solution, which I think they will definitely have. So I don't believe anything the mainstream media writes. I would have loved to show you my new used glass. It's triangle shaped, basically, looking from above. It's sort of a whiskey glass, and I drink lemonade in it. It's quite big. And the centipedes love sweet stuff, basically. So I also drink some chamomile tea. And we should drink a lot, even according to the CDC. Though according to the CDC, the men have to drink more than the women. Though women have boobs, breasts, teeth, there is another word. I've covered it, so for all these things people love, they have more than one word. Penis, cock, dick, vagina, pussy, cunt, etc. cum sperm seed. Boobs, breasts, tits, etc. There's nothing else. Interesting or what? So I think it's essential for the future of humankind that they learn the truth about these matters that I cover in my broadcast, and it's stuff everybody should know, and it's stuff they really don't want you to know. Not stuff they just don't want you to know, it's stuff they really don't want you to know. Because I think stuff they supposedly don't want you to know might be stuff that they want to spread, though it might not be the complete whole truth and everything you really need to know. It's just what they let you know so you can make your broadcast. Though they do have some good broadcast stuff you need to know or something on YouTube. Stuff they don't want you to know. It's also pretty good voice. So now I'm really gonna temporarily halt this broadcast for universal peace so I can email Pewdiepie, Felix, or what's his name? Anyway, I have to check it out. I haven't seen that many of his broadcasts, so I don't yet have I've not really formed an opinion about Pewdiepie. And if he has that many viewers, then there must be people who like him, basically, or perhaps it's some YouTube counter trick. Perhaps he has no views in reality. And I've covered the YouTube counter in previous broadcasts. People can buy views, etc. Not that I think that he did that. I think he really has these views, but that's just a hunch, or what is that based on? How can you say that you think that he has so many views? Well, also the responses and that I run into him quite a lot on the internet and stuff like that. I've seen one or two of his videos, so I think he's pretty professional, and it was quite enjoyable. So I hope he'll help humankind, and I hope he'll have me on his broadcast. We can Skype basically, or just cover the creation of a centipede cure and facts that centipedes are not as harmless as some people like to pretend or believe they are. They're just copying and pasting the lie. And to warn about these doctors such as Harold F. Shipman that killed over 400 of his patients, and there may be others, so he may definitely not be the only one. If you check Alex Jones on the Nazi eugenics and stuff with Google, then you'll find out. So they want a military order. It's in the description of this video. They want to use active measures. Phase 3 is the crisis, which they're trying to create with ISIS attacks, obviously, and or a two-state solution, world war, or both, actually. And if they control all of these people with the scalar technology with wireless energy and synthetic telepathy capability. I read somewhere that the NSA are the only ones with synthetic telepathy capability, and countries get access to that if they do what the NSA tells them to. The Satanists of the NSA or whoever. But I hope they help each other to create that perfect society and don't obstruct the creation of the perfect society in which we all will live happily eternally and in which maximum fulfillment will be bestowed upon all living things. That's what the government and people with lots of money should be pursuing for their own good as well, for their own future. And otherwise they will die and become dust. And if they're buried, then they're probably eaten by centipedes, unless they get a sarcophagus that is airtight and stuff made out of decaying wood. That's good. It's good if it's natural. Okay. Let's see if my camera is working again. I think not. But it is a nice effect. Wow. Oh, that didn't make me look like a pig here. Okay, thanks a lot. Well, yeah. Any original way to temporarily halt this broadcast for universal peace?